number of former governors in the Senate, they are not up to even 15% of the Senate. So you cannot use that to tell them, and you can name them. Let's take only two. You have also seen people leaving the Senate, like His Excellency, to also become a governor. So is it politics? Where advanced democracy will learn from is a lifelong career, and you traverse from one area to the other. You may even leave elective position to take an appointive position. Yeah. It's just like saying Senator Gadaya was in the Senate in the 6th assembly. We have also had cause to meet on some other political assignments outside even legislative party assignment and so on and so forth. So, but the question you ask about whether this has to do with the presidential nomination or not, I think that is where at times it's very important we have this conversation. Most of the time, people that set agenda don't even know what are the underpinning. Yes, it's important to say that you cannot underplay the importance of the role of the chairman of a party. But the way the party works has layers of power structure. One, even extra party structure may be powerful than the party itself. What do I mean by extra party structure? The presidency, together with the forums of the progressive governors, as well as our key leaders. And that was why yesterday you see that the president had a meeting with those are the founding members of our party. They may take decisions that may well have more impact than what former structures of party will take in that regard. So I want to say that beyond chairmanship of the party has so many layers of where decisions are taken, where power structure are allowed to be able to function. So now we want to calm people's nerve. What we want to do is that we want to have a strong, competent, and varied political party that will be able to continue to take over leadership in our country beyond 2023. I think that's our focus now. When we get to presidential nomination, it's a different ballgame.
You know, Senator Ajibola, thanks a lot for your response and the candid response. I mean, you also said, which is practical politics, that beyond the formal structure, you also have the superstructure of political parties. There's no way that doesn't happen in most democracies around the world.
They call it super delegate in the US.
In the US, that's right. That's for their nomination, for the nomination of their presidential candidates. But one thing that has lingered, and some persons often draw attention to this, will this convention ultimately address the question of the composition and function of the Board of Trustees of the APC, Your Excellency?
When we get to the convention, we'll look at the convention brochure and we'll see the items for discussion. If the constitution of the membership of the Board of Trustees is one of those, we will address them. You understand? And in addition to what the distinguished senator said, about the chairmanship of position of our party, we're looking for experienced and knowledgeable men and women who will become the chairman of our party because of the onerous task of driving our party. And the experience is not gotten in a vacuum. For you to be experienced, it has to be from one activity or the other. To that extent, you have to be one former this or former that to be able to get that experience that we are looking for. So I'm not surprised that former governors and non-serving senators who are political practitioners are now expressing interest, and from one of those that a chairman will eventually emerge. But the thing, the take home here, which is very clear to all of us and our viewers, is that APC is the party to beat and has gotten the envy of millions of Nigerians, because the interest I've seen, the incremental interest I've seen of late, is something to be happy about.
Okay, I want to ask a question. And Kingsley, I'm sorry, I'm about the only female here, and I want to ask how the APC has mainstreamed gender inclusiveness, in this convention, because I see that even by raising the stakes of the forms to, about 8 digits, that alone has ensured that no woman can come out and pick a form. I don't know.
If I may,
Yes,
actually,
please.
our party is when it comes to mainstreaming, you only see right from inception of APC, any figure you see for collection of form is 50% of it that is paid by female gender. You can check. Even if you want to be a governor today, if the nomination fee is 5,000 naira, a female aspirant will only pay 50% of that money. So, from the point of view of ensuring accessibility to even the form itself, the party is gender sensitive. Then, when it also comes, to some of these, contests, you see, democracy is about developing capacity. There have been issues about whether a particular percentage of party position should be reserved for the female gender. In fact, it was one of those, turning issue in the recent constitutional, amendment. But we must not lose sight of the fact that the party itself is not a patronage organization. Party, the way I conceive it, and any serious politician must conceive it, is an instrument of power. And that means that you must not see it as if you are doling out patronage. We have quite a number of women who are very able, competent, and are participating in the process of even bringing this convention. My committee, we have 6 work groups there.
How many women are vying for the very elated positions that we're talking about? I know. Naturally, the woman leader will be.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily women
We should
leader.
also at some point be having man leader.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not
What makes it
necessarily.
ridiculous?
That's
Is-
ridiculous.
No, but even at that,
When you say gender, no. Gender alone is not female.
I think
No, gender, Your Excellency. Sometimes we have this misnomer. Once you say gender, it means a woman.
No.
Gender is both male
He
or
said
female.
gender female. And when you
My sister, let me come in here. Let me come in here. We started from the Beijing conference that women were being discriminated, women equality and inequality. So gradually now we are equal. Now the new terminology is gender mainstreaming. Is it going to be through mechanical process? I thought that we are now equal. And the issue of eligibility and merit that should drive the society is not being looked into. Competencies, performances are here and there. I think that I'm cautious of not being accused of discriminating or making women look inferior by reducing the application fee from what it's supposed to be to something very, very low. If we agree that now women can perform even sometimes better than men, why are we going to change goalposts here and there? I think we should support the women more by exposing them into passing through the entire process of emergence, so that when they emerge, they will be really strong enough to do their job. So application form for 20 million, I can see some men may not be able to afford 20 million. Some women may afford billions of naira. I've seen very rich women as billionaires in the world. I've also seen very poor men who cannot even afford 1 million. So if it is mainstreaming, I think the real mainstreaming is allowing the society, opening up the society to accommodate women, to be able to express more interest, and to encourage them in areas they think we feel that are disadvantaged.
Is that visible within? Is that visible in the APC and vis-a-vis the
Senator,
Subcommittees
Senator.
that are even midwifing this convention. I'm telling you, I'm a member.
That is in
of
the
this.
lead up. That is in the lead up to tomorrow's convention. On Good Morning Nigeria some weeks ago, we hosted women of the APC after their own national meeting or conference here also in Abuja. And they came up with a slate of demands, which they said they will be taken to the APC convention. And that convention is coming up tomorrow. Regrettably, none of them is here with us.
Exactly.
Two of them are actually cabinet ranking members. One, Minister of Women Affairs. Two, the FCT Minister of State. They were our guests here, including the chair of the APC Women's Conference. And they said, look, their demands would be minimum 35% of positions. Well, that demand was pari passu with the attempts or efforts at amending the 1999 Constitution as already amended. Well, the 1999 Constitution amendment process for affirmative action for women has fallen through, as it were. Now, it would appear that it is the APC convention. Is the APC having it as part of its agenda to amend the Constitution to meet the demands of women?
You see, when you talk of demand, with respect, demand must be, it's not, the fact that you make a demand does not mean automatically demand must be yielded. The question is this: the party involvement is not about patronage, it's about interest. You must show interest to be part of the party process. I don't think anybody says a particular position, even that of chairmanship, is zone or exclusive preserve of men.
But when you bring the issue of consensus,
No, you see, no, even
and then you narrow
okay,
down to a particular
there are
person.
about
Consensus among those who express interest.
So if a woman has possibly expressed interest, the person could have.
Of course.
Then you see,
I'll be happy to have a woman national chairman.
you see, you cannot
National chairman, not chairwoman.
Certain things. What I believe is that this idea of gender mainstreaming, we need to develop capacity in terms of education, in terms of exposure, and in terms of economic empowerment. Politics, anybody may tell you, is not not a very cheap engagement. It is involving in terms of your time, in terms of resources.
And women don't have it.
No, they have resources. In fact, you see, when you look
even.
at these days now, I go to convocation ceremonies. The first 10 best students in our universities now are women. If you go to our banking industry today, because when these statistics are done, banking industry, go and check the CEOs of our banks and people holding the executive position, they are the female gender.
So what's
When
your,
you go to when you even go to administrative sector and everything like that, so it's neither here nor there.
Okay,
Yes,
Senator Gada, I have raised the issue that APC women raised on Good Morning Nigeria. They said that they will be making a demand at the convention for affirmative action, namely the setting aside of a certain percentage for women. Well, this is the NWC and NEC and others that will be formed. But they say that going forward, including at the convention and then the party primaries, that they will make a demand. Otherwise, I'm sure if you watch that video, you will also hear and listen to their threats. Senator Gada, what are your thoughts?
You see, my brothers have said it. But let me add here that even here where we are, we have 20% representation of women here, unintended. And whether you are the moderator or moderated, the fact that you are in the same cycle, it means you are one and same. And whatever sentiment a woman is not here to express, they are more than represented by the sentiment of the moderator, along with the drills which she is posing, either by way of blackmail or
I'm just being an echo chamber for what women said on Good Morning Nigeria and posing it as a question to you, because you are all insiders in organizing tomorrow's convention.
We are saying the same thing.
You have to round up.
Yes, we are saying the same thing. You see, this is the party that is women sensitive. Let me use the women sensitive. We have, in our plans, every single thing we do, women take prime position and prime consideration. Not only that. You see, I wish that you also look at other structures of the society. You see, APC, women, special disabilities, youth, these are the focus of our party, because this is the future. And so women are not only encouraged to be, but they are extraordinarily supported in all ramifications to rise and realize their potentials as leaders and as stakeholders within the democratic polity and experiment. So,
Okay, thank you. I will just, Your Excellency, we have just a minute to round off this conversation. One point that has also been raised, that Senator Ajibola referenced it, to say, yes, you have superstructures in the party that help intervene when there is crisis. But again, some observers have asked the question, assuming you didn't have President Muhammadu Buhari, what would have been the fate of the party today ahead of the convention?
But we'll have a president.
Assuming.
Assuming we didn't have. No, they will have.
I said, assuming you a President Muhammadu Buhari, specific.
Well, God that gave us President Muhammad Buhari, God that gave us President Muhammad Buhari would have also given us a solution. But at the same time, we have organs of the party. We have organs of the party as provided for in the Constitution. And there is no political party that will come up boldly and say they don't have internal mechanism for managing all issues. So APC as a party is structured in a way that the organs of the party, including internal mechanism for managing even conflicts and disagreements, are all in place. So once that is deployed, every committed member of the party will follow. Every political party and its membership is known for loyalty to the party. In other words, even before this time, there is this popular saying that said, party is supreme. It means once the leadership of the party takes a decision, you have an incumbent responsibility to follow.
Is President Muhammadu Buhari the leader of the party?
Of course, yes. There's no doubt about that. He is the leader of the party.
Kingsley.
All right. On that note, we'd like
Unless you want to ask Senator Hope whether he's the leader of the party in Imo State.
We're dealing with the National Convention. And would like to, on this note, appreciate our guests. We wish we had more time. We have a second topic to deal with this morning. Senator Surah Judin Ajibola, Chairman, Senate Committee on Media, would like to thank you for being our guests on Good Morning Nigeria. Senator Abubakar Omar Gada, member of the 6th Senate, we also thank you for being our guest this morning. And Your Excellency, Senator Hope Uzodinma, Executive Governor of Imo State, deep thanks for your contribution to our conversation this morning.
Kingsley, just before you go for a break, I just want to say that I hope that after the convention, we'll be able to have Senator Hope Uzodinma and, of course, the distinguished senators here.
Well, not just the distinguished senators.
And
we hope we also have women, APC women, who will be part of the conversation.
We will have affirmative action.
Affirmative action. All right. So it's on that note, we thank our guests. When
you bring women, the moderators must only be men.
No. That's our internal mechanism.
Take a break now.
We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll get into our second topic for discussion.
We are all Nigerians. Against all odds, we shall and must remain united. We may have our challenges, our problems, and setbacks. However, together we shall overcome them all. What doesn't break us shall make us stronger. This is the mindset that shall bring peace, progress, and prosperity to our beloved country. Do not let tribal and religious sentiments govern how you think, act, or feel. Don't be influenced by those who want to destroy our precious national unity. Everybody who is a Nigerian is your brother and your sister. This is the mindset of the new Nigeria. It is also the mindset that we must all adopt. Let us support each other in creating the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Did you know that a quarter of the world's deaths from malaria is in Nigeria? And the reason being a mosquito that spreads malaria, a disease that puts everyone's life in distress. We believe that protection and prevention is the best cure in the fight to end malaria. Morphine insecticide with its improved formulation kills 100% mosquitoes that spread malaria. So spread the message of how we can fight to end malaria with Morphine. Morphine, our #1 choice.
He scores. Coolly slotted home by the skipper. Much more promising in the second half. Great ball, Musa!
Here comes another clash of titans as Black Stars of Ghana face Super Eagles of Nigeria in first leg Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup playoffs this Friday, March 25, 2022 in Kumasi at 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Catch the action live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. For advertisements, please contact Bolal on 0803 7044 286, Howard 0803 3121 022, or Nuhu on 0803 3260 729.
Trying to get round the back of Arneson. He's in, it's Musa! Across goal, Musa shoot!
Ghana versus Nigeria. The big game.
The APC welcomes you.
All the governors are committed to delivering the convention at 26 successfully.
The governors are united. They are committed to having the convention and supporting the party beyond the convention to ensure that we win our elections.
The most important thing that we are doing is to reposition the party to a greater height without compromising national interest.
The APC National Convention, stronger and more united for a greater Nigeria. Join us on Saturday, 26 March 2022 at the Eagle Square, Abuja.
Arise, O Nigerians! Let's applaud the courage of Flight Lieutenant Abayomi Dairo, aka the Aggressor, for his skillful and dogged escape from the bloodthirsty bandits in the forest of Zamfara State. 3 hearty cheers also to all military and security personnel who are tirelessly protecting fellow Nigerians from insurgency and banditry while maintaining peace and order. Nigerians are proud of Abayomi Dairo and all our gallant men and women in uniform for sacrificing so much to keep us safe. We admire your courage and we say thank you. God bless the armed forces. God bless Nigeria. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
All right, you're welcome back, and it's still Good Morning Nigeria. We're live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We are getting on to our second topic for our conversation this morning, which is on National Microfinance Bank. It's 3 years since it took off. Let's listen to this background put together by Kunle Ade as a prompt for our discussion this morning.
Within just 3 years, National Microfinance Bank's contributions to different sectors of the economy have been immeasurable owing to its widened scope and targeted interventions. Incorporated by the Central Bank of Nigeria, National Microfinance Bank has been in the forefront of actualizing the federal government's quest for diversifying the economy, with agriculture playing a pivotal role. The quarterly GDP reports by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) confirm that agriculture has been a major contributor to the GDP growth. So far, National Microfinance Bank has disbursed 533 billion naira seamlessly to 911,067 Nigerians through various schemes such as the Targeted Credit Facility, Agribusiness Small and Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme, the widely accepted and successful Anchor Borrowers Program, Nigeria Youth Trust Funds, and non-investment banking. These programs and other initiatives of the federal government were instrumental to bringing Nigeria's economy out of recession occasioned by the outbreak of COVID-19. During the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns to the gradual reopening of the economy, National Microfinance Bank sustained financial inclusion and ensured all holder farmers have access to funds and SMEs did not lack credit. A unique advantage of NASA loan is the 1-year moratorium granted beneficiaries to enable them have a smooth payback process. Zero collateral before accessing loan facilities, among other incentives, have remained the hallmarks of the bank since coming into operation. Currently, more than 10 million applications for loans await approval. Having itemized the proactiveness of Nassau Microfinance Bank, some questions yearn for answers. With hundreds of billions of naira given out as loans, is the sustenance of these initiatives not threatened? Are beneficiaries not seeing these interventions as mere gifts from government? And how is the payback process guaranteed? Expect answers and insights in a moment.
All right, welcome back. If you've just joined in, you're on to Good Morning Nigeria and to our second discussion, which is on NISL Microfinance Bank Act 3. And to discuss this issue with us, we have here in the studio Abubakar Abdul Kadir Kure, who's the Managing Director, NISL Microfinance Bank, and we're glad to have you join us.
Good morning.
Thank you. Darlington Lawson is also here with us. He's the Executive Director, Banking, NISL Microfinance Bank, NMFB. Thank you very much, Mr.
It's a
Lawson,
pleasure being here.
All right.
All right. But gentlemen, let's begin this conversation by telling our viewers what NISL Microfinance Bank it's all about, and thereafter what the journey has been in 3 years.
Okay. Thank you so much. NISL Microfinance Bank was set up by the DRIVE initiative of the Governor Central Bank, who is the chairman of Bankers Committee. The idea is to unlock credit to the SME sectors and those at the lower and middle level of the economy. Because as you know, most of them don't have assets. They don't have liquidity. So they don't have accessibility. They don't have affordability. Accessibility in the sense that banks will say, bring collateral, bring cash flow, bring guarantors. All those are limited to allow accessibility. Whereas instead of affordability, banks charge as much as 30% or more, but we charge under a central bank intervention for. So the idea is to promote and empower those at the middle and the lower, and eventually to promote financial inclusion, which will lead to growth in the economy, employment, poverty reduction, and eventually even the government also gain for SME by way of tax revenue.
Darlington, you want to speak some more on this, on the whole idea of the NISL Microfinance Bank. What are the areas of intervention, and who are your major clients? What source of funding?
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, hitherto, the lower rung of the economic ladder have had difficulty accessing credits in the kind of credit that you can make available at good rates and all. So I think the advent of NISL Microfinance Bank was supposed to close this gap, and that's what we are doing. The products, the sources of funding are largely intervention funds from the Central Bank of Nigeria, as guided by the federal government of Nigeria. And we had the flagship product was the Agribusiness Small Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme loans, which is we abbreviate AGSMIS, which pretty much allows entrepreneurs to access training, first of all, certify themselves for the roles they are going to play for the economy, and then access funding. That's one. When it started, the maximum amount was about 10 million. And but today, for it to reach out to more people, it's now 3 million. Then, of course, we have the targeted credit facility, which came about as a result of the pandemic in 2020. When that happened and a lot of people were in lockdown at home, the federal government thought it was necessary to reach out to people, ensure that people had funding, they had spending money, so to speak. And of course, we also have the Anchor Borrowers Program, which was always in existence to access, to give credit to smallholder farmers. And lately, we've also added the National Youth Investment Fund, which was it's just a small project that the Federal Minister of the Federal Minister of Youth and Sports Development anchored. Those are the products we have for intervention. As a bank, MD will also maybe want to corroborate this, that we had to decide on adding on-balance sheet lending for sustainability of the bank. That is doing pretty much what other microfinance banks do. So that's it in a nutshell.
So in 3 years, which is what you are amplifying now, how much would you say you have been able to impact in terms of intervention?
Okay.
Yes, okay. Maybe the end.
Okay, let me start. I think we have done significantly well. I had people saying that even not for the National Microfinance Bank, the economy wouldn't have come back from recession. So, for instance, if you look at our balance sheet, we have done over 560 billion within the 3 years of existence, out of which COVID took about 67% of the total disbursement. That is about 380 billion. So if you look at COVID, we have covered 670,000 beneficiaries. And in total, all our loans, over 900,000 Nigerians have benefited. So if you look at the impact, it's actually huge. You have organizers, you have people who are doing all sorts of bikes, businesses. You have people who are opening shops, people who are doing tailoring, people who are doing service sector. So it has a lot of multiplier effect in the economy. Because during the lockdown, a lot of businesses were closed. A lot of people don't have jobs. So when the initiative came under the governorship of Central Bank, Dr. Emefiele, a lot of funds went to the financial system. So that empower people to get jobs, to open their businesses, to also have a means of livelihood. So that has, to an extent, also reduced crime in the society. And that I can tell you, the success story is huge. Because I have people coming to me and say, look, you guys are doing a good job. If not for what you have been giving ordinary people, a lot of things will have happened in the economy. The economy will have locked down completely. And some people in their life, I can tell you this, they have now received over 200,000. All of a sudden, they receive 500. So if you see what they have done, some of them have done with the 500, you'll be marvelous. Because they are putting into assets that can generate income to not only be able to pay back, but also to empower their family, and so that they can eventually be self-employed.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes, sir.
Were these or are these handouts or loans on soft terms?
Thank you. This is a crucial part of what we do, and that's about disseminating the right information. They are loans. When you hear credit facility, or the credit there implies loans. So they are loans, and we expect them to be repaid in due course. The terms are very good. 1 year moratorium, nobody does that. In fact, when the pandemic struck, the governor in his magnanimity extended by another year the moratorium period, meaning when you don't have to repay the interest or principal. He extended it. So the terms are good. Anyone with such volumes with you and you start a business and you don't even think about repaying, then we need to question the morality of it all. So it's a loan. People are supposed to pay back. The repayments will start. In fact, they are supposed to commence from this month. Actually, that's when the 2-year moratorium period ends. So indeed, it's something we hope. We've been reaching out. We've been sensitizing the public. We're not going to go about chasing you with anything, but we would, moral suasion. We also have some tools which we can levers we can pull to ensure repayments.
I was just wondering, what is your presence like nationwide?
Yes. Currently, we have 114 branches within the 3 years of existence. Consider it's a massive jump. Hardly do banks create branches that way. The idea is to have outreach and depth to the ordinary people. And the target is 774 local government. So our target now is to see how we can be progressing gradually, while also leveraging on technology to reach out, to get more people to be financially included. Currently, we have machines around our branches whereby we can register people for BVN. People who are not in the banking sector, they can come to our branches and register. So the idea is, the strategy is to do both physical presence in branches so that we can reach out to ordinary people, especially in all the local governments, and also leverage on technology. Because we deal with volumes. The volumes we have done within the last 3 years, in terms of volume, not many commercial banks will have done it as it is. With respect to recoveries, I will urge all Nigerians to please try and pay back, because there is a recycling loan. If you don't pay back, if A does not pay back to the bank, B cannot be able to get it. So we should be like a cross guarantee to each other. If you know anybody that has taken loan from Nasa Micro, please urge him to pay back. We have a lot of queues lying. As I'm speaking to you now, I have about 12 million Nigerians looking for NASA COVID loan, even though we shut the portal almost 1 year ago. And I have a lot of people also looking for, currently it's only the NIB interest banking that is open in the portal, no interest banking for the TCL aspect. We have over 3 million looking for the same loan. So if people don't pay back, definitely people on the queue may not be able to access it.
You know, you talk about access, and I've also heard about those who have tried to access, your intervention and have, met some hurdles. Yes, and in fact, this morning someone said to me, Claire, you need to ask that question. Why is it that some people don't get access?
We've democratized the process of applying for these loans by creating a portal. I know it requires access to technology, right technology, but the portal is there. It's free for every Nigerian. So first thing is to access, apply, follow the guides, and then you are eligible. Now, you have millions of Nigerians applying. Our portal, over 10 million applications. And MD has said we had to close the portal at one point. You do the math. At 500,000 per person, where is the budget for such? So we had to create criteria or have criteria that we can defend. And we thought, let's make this available, but people must meet certain criteria before you can access it. Even the CBN, when we submit data and make applications for funding, the CBN also has its own role to play. They check, confirm certain things before they give approval and then send funding. So there is always limitations. It's a scarce resource. Money is a scarce resource. And as they say about scarcity, there will be competing interests. And that's just the response to that. It's not like anybody created hurdles deliberately. We are ever willing to dispense this cash.
Are these unsecured credits?
That's the beauty of it. It comes with no collateral requirement. Nobody does that really these days, except in retail where you have cash flow. Of course, you will know about the person's cash flow. This one didn't require cash flow. He mentioned artisans, people who have not seen 10,000 before. You have access to 100,000.
But MD Kure, tell us something. When you have this deluge of applicants for your facility, and therefore the hunger to have resources to run their businesses, which they previously probably didn't have. What does that tell you about, one, the state of financing, the state of the economy?
Yeah, definitely there's a huge gap in the SME lending. And that's why my bank was set up. And I will urge all other commercial banks to also, and I think the governor of Central Bank is trying to push commercial banks to target the SME lending, the informal sector. Nigeria is a population of 200 million, SME alone over 40 million. So you can see that commercial banks ordinarily don't want to deal with all those ordinary people that have hunger because they're actually to bring collateral. They prefer to deal with the so-called big tickets because that's what the commercial concern is. But this vehicle was set up to target those set of people. And as my colleague said, resources are limited anywhere in the world. It's a law of economics. So because resources are limited, we now have to streamline and see who actually should get it. And what we normally do is to ensure at least there's geographic spread across the country. No particular regions take the whole disbursement. And incidentally, the governor of CBN, Dr. Godwin Murphy, is actually interested in ensuring there's even spread, not only across 6 geographic areas, across all states. So the hunger will be limited if more financial institutions, not even financial, it's like what the government is doing is like only the federal government. Why are the states? Why are the local governments? So it's supposed, even international communities, international organizations, World Bank, they are supposed to come into this value chain to add value to reduce the level of poverty.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, sorry, we've run out of time really. What would, in the 3 years, that you have been in existence, what will be the high point of your, should I call it celebration?
Yeah, I think the celebration actually on the Target Credit Facility, what we call it COVID. I think the success story of the bank is in that area because if you look at the impact in the economy, in terms of employment, in terms of hunger addressing that you have said, especially during the COVID, in terms of ordinary people who in their life wouldn't have gotten 200,000. All of a sudden, they sold for 100,000. Some of them use it very well. And we have stories, we have pictures, we have documentaries of people who have used it very well, they were happy. And I must tell you, a lot of people are happy with NASA. NASA because I had gotten a brand name in terms of a vehicle that is established to help ordinary people. If you like, call it People's Bank. Aha. So that's because of our target of ordinary people and the number of people we have covered. And some of them can never get this way for NASA. Because if you go to a conventional bank will not look at you that you don't have an asset to pledge. Then what I mean, if he thinks he gives the lawyer, I'm going to use it for food. But in spite of all those risk issues, the CBN said, okay, look, give them, at least it will have multiply effect the economy, and economy will grow. So,
okay, thank you very much. I just wanted us to bring in this issue as well. And by the way, MD, when I said hunger, I didn't mean hunger of the stomach. Okay. I meant thirst for your phones.
Okay,
why people are, hankering after it or coming to you for it, not necessarily because they are hungry. But it also tells me something, and I would like Darlington Lawson to speak to this. Namely, well, probably because we are still young. I mean, the microfinance bank is in its infancy, less than 5 years old. Is there a sense in which you could, going forward, begin to target specific sectors rather than the generalized credit access for all kinds of persons to say, okay, we want this to happen? We're talking about wheat crisis now following the Ukraine-Russian war or the Russian-Ukraine war. There are all kinds of things. If you say real MSMEs, we're not the roadside vulcanizer and so on and so forth. Do you have this as part of your game plan?
Okay. Our setup is targeted, and we are guided by, for now, the central bank. The bankers committee through the central bank has oversight. And we trust in their judgment to decide the sectors that require this and what financial institutions to use to as a conduit or the transit points to the beneficiaries. At this time, I am aware that the central bank has a lot of these products in place, these lending credit products in place, and they are available for channeling out to the people. But on our part, we have the Anchor Borrowers Program. We don't talk about it much because it's meeting the needs of smallholder farmers, quietly ensuring that there's food production. One of the things that the fallout of this Ukraine crisis will be food production. We have already received engagements had engagements with the CBN regarding Anchor Borrowers Program, the fact that they want us to implement quickly. And there are other intervention products in place, and I know that we will run out of time if I begin to reel them out, but there are so many in place.
So how do you access these interventions? Very quickly, MD. Because Claire asked the question earlier, because I know that we are in the tech age, online. How many persons really have access? Very quickly. How does somebody who is offline access your products?
Yeah, if you are offline, you can do that as a community, as a cooperative. If you come as a cooperative or community, we can engage you. Online is just make it easier, convenient for people to apply. But for people who have low level of illiteracy, they can form association, can look at the association, evaluate themselves, and know the serious people who can take the loan and use it meaningfully. After evaluation, they can also do cross guarantee, ensure that at least A guarantees B for repayment. When they do that, they come to us, we evaluate that they have BVN, which is the unique identifier. We can help them process. But the truth of the matter is that it's low demand supply. Demand for it is far more than the available money that can be supplied by CBN. And CBN itself has tried, because its balance sheet now is getting bigger and bigger because of intervention, which of course is the human capital development aspect, which is also good anyway, but resources are limited. So if you have serious people, we are ready to deal with them. But anybody that think that, okay, you're coming to NASA to get national cake or grants, to use it for other things other than creating businesses to be able to pay back, get income and be able to pay back, definitely we are not out to entertain that. It's not for
just the final question in 60 seconds. What's the future in terms of sustenance?
Yeah, we have looked at that critically, and part of our strategy, one, we know that we have support of central bank. We hope it will continue. Two, we want to diversify a source of income or liquidity instead of rely on central bank intervention for which, of course, if you look at the margin, you can't get that margin anywhere. 5% during COVID, 9% after. Bank charge as much as 25 or more. So we want to create liabilities by way of liability product, drive deposit from the public, receive them from like any other commercial bank or microfinance, and lend to the public as an asset or loan at a commercial rate this time. So it has to be high risk evaluation. We'll do a risk appetite, risk tolerance. Don't say because it's a NASA, anybody can say no. You have to meet all the conditions that commercial bank or microfinance say before you can access it, because the risk is on the bank now. Unlike the other one that is more or less like shared, this was absolutely 100% risk on the bank. So for sustainability on terms of income, that's the area where we will also improve our e-channels to get more income from that area.
All right, Managing Director, NISAL Microfinance Bank, Abubakar Abdulkadir Kure. Would like to appreciate you for coming to share your perspectives with us. Darlington Lawson, Executive Director, Banking, NISAL Microfinance Bank. Also appreciate you for coming to Good Morning Nigeria, and we wish you happy 3-year celebration.
Thank you very
And a
much.
brighter future ahead.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that's Good Morning Nigeria for today, and indeed for the week. It's been nice having you join us from Monday to today, and we do hope you'll find time to join us again same time next week when the program returns. I am Claire Delabu Abdul Razak from all of us in the studio. Have a good weekend.
And I'm Kingsley Osadola. I say take care of yourselves and enjoy your weekend.